Hey, y'all ready to hear the story about who's driving the car? Oh, my stomach. That camera makes me look fat. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story about who's driving the car. Back in about 1973, a group of us got together. It's me, my brother Jimmy, and some of y'all know Jimmy, Johnny Bolton, and Curtis Grigsby. Johnny come up there one day at school and said, "Hey, I got permission to hunt an old piece of property over here off of Nursery Road. It's an old nursery at the end of that road on the right." He said, "These people said, Daddy talked to him and said, we can come over and hunt that land this afternoon when we get out of school." So we was all excited about that day. You know, we get out of school, we're going to go hunting. Only one had the car was Curtis Grigsby. And he said, "Well, I'll come over to y'all's house and pick y'all up this afternoon and said, we'll ride down there at that piece of property and see if we can't get us a deer." So Curtis come over that afternoon, got there about 3:30, I guess it was. And we had our guns ready to go, and we jumped in that car. And Curtis had a four-door car, and I can't remember what kind it was. It was some type of car, I don't know what it was, like a Chevrolet. It had shackles on the back end was kicked up, had loud mufflers. It'd run about 35 miles an hour full speed, but it sounded good. So we get down there to this road called Nursery Road. So Nursery Road's about a mile long. And at the end of that road is a fence. You just go right off to a old hog wire fence. Another side of that road is a hunting club road. And we knew we couldn't get over on one side of that fence, we'd be trespassing. So we found the land we're supposed to be hunting on, but that land butted up to that old fence. So we decided to scatter out and start walking across that thing was like 21 acres. We started walking across that field, a sage field. About that time, a doe jumped up. Well, a buck. Let's just say this, a buck. A buck jumped up there in front of me, and I shot that thing twice, and I could see I hit it. It jumped over that fence and was gone. I said, "Dadgummit." And we all gathered over and we're standing against the fence, and I said, "Well, I'm not going over that fence. There's posted signs all over there telling us not to go over that fence. And I don't know who owns the land." And Johnny and my brother Jimmy said, "Look, we're going to go over this fence. Y'all go back to the car, and we'll be back over there with that deer in a little bit." I said, "Okay." And this was probably 35, 40 minutes before dark. So they jumped the fence. We went back to the car. Me and Curtis are sitting in the car playing a little music, and it got dark. I said, "Well, it's been too long. They should have been coming back over here." I said, "We got to go down and check on them." Well, when we stepped out of the car, we heard hollering and cutting up down there outside that fence about where I shot at that deer. So me and Curtis walked down the end of that road, and we leaned on that fence, and we looked down there on that old hunting road. I seen headlights with my brother and a couple other men standing there. They was cutting up, but there was kind of a loud talk. And what I was thinking was they knew them. I said, "Well, they know them. Let's go on down there and see what's going on." I said, "Maybe they got that deer I shot." Well, while we was walking down there, I seen one of them pull a shotgun out and poke it in my brother and Johnny's face and told him to hit the ground. "Sit down right there where you at." Well, we were too close by then to take off running because they looked and saw us. We was almost on them. And before I knew it, another guy took a shotgun and pointed at us, told us, "Get over here. Come over here and sit down right by these guys." And ain't none of them they all had hunting clothes on. Ain't none of them, I didn't think it was law enforcement or game warden or any type of law enforcement. I just said, we finna get killed. So we set us side by, there was four of us sitting there side by side. And I heard him get on the CB. One of them got on the CB and called another guy. I said, "Come on, get them dogs down here. We're gonna find that deer this boy shot. They over here trespassing, shooting our deer." And I ain't 15 years old. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was about a big old young'un. And I started shaking. I said, "Lord," I looked at the other guys whipping. They was scared to death too. I said, "Here I am, done shot a deer and gonna get myself killed down in these woods and ain't gonna ever know where I'm at. I'm dead. I'm gone." So here come 2 or 3 man, I'm telling you by now, there's 5, 6 pickup trucks around us. They done had all the headlights on us. There was guns pointing at us. And we just sitting on the side of that road. I said, "Oh, God." I was thinking, "Lord, Mama never know what happened to us. They going to shoot us and bury us out here in the swamp." So about that time, they turned a dog loose. And every time that dog barked, I'd sink lower to the ground. I'd get lower and lower to the ground. I said, "Lord, they find that deer, I'm dead." Finally, that dog found that deer. And I heard somebody down in the woods holler. I ain't going to say his name because I know him now. I know who he is. But they said, catch him. Called him by name. He's going to cut that boy's stomach open just like he gut shot this deer. And I heard that out of that swamp. And I heard somebody running. I said, oh, Lord, I'm about laying down now. I'm shaking so bad and thinking my stomach's going to get ripped open by a knife. About that time, that old boy come running up out of those woods, and I had a hunting jacket on and my hunting boots. I done untied my boots when I got there at the car. I just untied them. The laces were just hanging on the ground. And that man come flying up out of them woods, and y'all, I'm going to tell you something. He jumped over 4 or 5 vehicles, climbing like a monkey, come flying through there. And he grabbed me by my jacket, and he picked me up, and he stuck that knife right slap in on a couple of buttons. He started popping my buttons with that knife. And man, I'm just hanging there like a rag now. My eyes are starting to roll back in my head. All I can feel is that I can get my guts cut out. And they dove on him and knocked him down and was wrestling him and had him calm down. And they said, boys, I'm going to tell you what. Now, Jimmy and Johnny had their shotguns. They said, give me those shotguns. They took their guns and unloaded them. And they kept the bullets. And they said, now, we're going to walk y'all down here to this end of this road where the fence is. And you get on this dirt road. And he said, they all walked us down there with guns pointing at us. And I could barely walk because now I'm just now figuring out he ain't cutting my guts out. He ain't going to stab me. So I get to that fence, I could barely crawl over it. I mean, I was just that scared, I'll be honest with you. The boy said, look, you don't stop running till you get in that car and y'all get off this road. And I said, Lord, how much, I can't hardly run. But you know, when you're scared, they tell you to do something, they point guns at you, you will find some speed. You will get you some power. So we start walking down that road. We get about 100 yards from them and they shoot. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God. We took off running and we was all just looked like a horse race. And we was running right toward that car. And I tell y'all what, I was running so hard my bootstrings was whistling in the wind. If I'd spelled any faster, I'd have been levitating over the top of everybody. So about that time, we was getting close to the car, and my brother hollered, Curtis, get the car, Curtis. And I said, oh, Lord, get the car, Curtis. Because we ain't stopping. He can pick us up down the road. They still shooting them guns back there. Man, we passed that car. We went to flying down there. We got to the pavement, and we run a solid mile. I believe we would all broke a record that day because we was side by side getting it. 1 or 2 might have been behind or up the front every now and then, but we was all passing each other. So we get down there to the end of the road, we all standing there like this, barely couldn't breathe. And we're standing there, couldn't breathe. Oh, come on, Curtis, get that car started. Curtis, please get that car started, Curtis. Come on, that car didn't get started. I said, where's he at? Where's Curtis? Come on, Curtis, get the car started, man. We got to get out of here. Oh, Lord, we sitting there, my brother leaning over, John leaned over, and I kind of looked over my shoulder, and Curtis looking over my shoulder, won't know who's going to start the car. I said, what the heck are you doing, man? Go get the car. I ain't going to get the car. Well, we stood there and argued 15 minutes who was over going to get that car. Seriously, we did. Man, they could be down there waiting to jump on us. So finally, what was so crazy was Curtis went down there and got the car. Finally, we walked with him to about 100 yards of the car. And he walked down there and got that car. He was so scared he backed up, throwed it in reverse, and slid right off in a ditch and got stuck. Now he's down there, wah, wah. I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. Now we are dead. We all run down. If God is my witness, I'm telling y'all right now, I believe we picked the back of that car up and set it back on the road, and we were gone. That's one of the most scariest times. It's funny now, but when it happened, man, we didn't even tell our parents about it. We didn't go home and say nothing because I knew what my daddy would do. He'd have been back over there and it would have been on. And I just didn't want none of that to happen. Now I'm friends with all those people now. You know, I didn't know who they were at first, but after a while you figure out who they were, and we laughed and cut up and talked about it. But when it was happening, it wasn't that funny. So actually, that is the story about who's driving the car.